Our next speaker is another one. Oh my gosh. This is Kim Elliott. In Ohio, we just passed last November legislation that abortion would be constitutionalized in our state constitution. Broke my heart. We worked hard, but as I was talking to people before the vote, I realized we were not going to win because everything was about exceptions. What about rape? What about ectopic pregnancy? What about this? What about that? And they were all scared, and of course the opposition was giving them a lot of things, including the doctors are going to leave our state if this issue does not pass. Your contraception is no longer available. All these lies that were just being passed on, and it just freaked everyone out, including Christians in our churches voted yes for issue 1. But the reason I've got Kim on my roster is because she was the exception. She grew up like most girls, dreaming of a prince, charming to marry her someday. That dream came to a violent interruption when at 26 years of age, still a virgin, she was raped, became pregnant as a result. Here to share her story is Kim Elliott.
Thank you, Gloria. What an awesome opportunity to be in a room full of friends for life. Like Gloria had said, my name is Kim, and I am the exception everybody seems to be talking about these days. I was a young woman who had romantic dreams, ideas of saving myself for love, and but I ran around with a group of friends who didn't exactly share my romantic ideals. And one night, my girlfriends and I were out on the town, and we were huddled around a dimly lit table, solving all of the world's problems over a few drinks, when the subject of, the what-if subject of an unplanned pregnancy came to the table. As the pro-abortion votes were filling up the conversation, I was shrinking back, just like you do in school, hoping to be overlooked. And just like in school, I was not overlooked. I mustered up every bit of courage I had and told my friends, I just can't get past the innocence of the baby. I think abortion is wrong. Well, that wasn't good enough for my friends, and so one of the girls pushed back at me and she said, yeah? Well, what about in the case of rape? It'd be about 6 months later in Memphis, Tennessee, that I did experience, still a virgin, did experience the sexual violation of a rape. 30 days later, I learned that I was pregnant. And like most women, I, again, was the only person at the table who was opposing abortion, even in the case of rape. But like most women, fear took the lead, and desperation motivated me. And I wanted to do anything I could to get out from under this horrific event in my life, erase it, and that even meant the child. So I scheduled an abortion. It would be approximately a couple of days, and the trauma broke me, and I told my parents what had happened of the violation of the baby and my plans to fix everything. And it was my father in that conversation who interrupted, and he was the one who spoke the truth, and he said, Kim, abortion is murder. And we don't do that. That one truth did two powerful things for me. The first thing it did is that it set me free to know I was no longer alone in these circumstances or in my decisions going forward. The second thing it did is it started to reverse my identity out from being a victim into that of being a defender. And everybody here in this room already knows that pregnancies resulting from rape involve 3 persons. The rapist, who's the criminal, and the mother and the child. That baby was also a victim of the crime. And so I began to see that this was not a child that I needed to defend my life from, but this was a child I needed to give my life for. So for the next 9 months, my life read like all great stories do, dark and dangerous, with thrilling plot twists all along the way. And I went ahead and canceled the abortion. And then I visited my first pregnancy center, my first visit to a pregnancy center. And there I met the same spirit of compassion that I did at home. From there, I planned an adoption. I gave birth to my first child, and I placed her in the arms of new parents. That night when I got home, I lied awake all night trying to figure out how am I going to get my life back. My mom lied awake all night in her room, just crying out to God how much she wanted to go get that baby back. And he spoke 3 powerful words to her. He said, "She's still yours." The truth was, I was never going to be able to get my life back. I was only going to be able to get it redeemed. So I not only chose life, but I also chose to love and raise my daughter as a single parent. One thing we didn't know, the providence that was written in those 3 words, was that the first 4 years of my daughter's life turned out to be the last 4 years of my mother's life. So my daughter was the only grandchild that she had time to love. Choosing life opened the door to one of the most profound love relationships I have ever experienced, and that would be with Jesus Christ. His love healed me, it transformed me, and it continues to empower me even today. As for my daughter, the Lord helped me understand how to grow her up in the light of his love, not in the shame of an ugly crime. John 1:4 assured me that there is not one thing or one person that has ever come into existence that hasn't come through him. Therefore, life begins in Christ. Conception is holy, even when the sex is not. I want to end just by thanking every single one of you for everything that you do to defend life and love these unexpected mothers like Christ does. You not only resourced my pregnancy so many years ago, but you also helped us keep our dignity while we were in need. So thank you guys for being the exception.
Wow. I love her. I just love the redemption of that story.